Okay, guys, what's going on here is avoid these five mayonnaise brands at all costs. So let's check it out and see what's going on.
If you're talking about mayonnaise.
New at 6, Mike Sugarman on the lawsuit that's put a small San Francisco food company in the national spotlight.
That jar of mayonnaise sitting in your refrigerator right now? It's not the recipe your mother trusted. The label looks the same. The logo hasn't changed in 50 years. The colors are exactly how you remember them. But the formula in
Okay, before we go any further, guys, I use Dukes. I think it's spelled Dukes, but that's the brand I use. So let's see if we're picking out the right brand. Let's continue.
side, quietly rewritten, one ingredient at a time. They replaced real eggs with modified food starch, real oil with industrial soybean filler, real shelf life with synthetic chemicals you cannot pronounce. I spent weeks tracking exactly when 5 of America's most trusted mayo brands sold out. What I found will make you flip every jar in your kitchen. In the next 12 minutes, I am going to expose them all and
Leave in the comment, guys, which brand that you use. Let's continue.
reveal 5 brands that are still worth your trust. Let's start with the worst one. Number 1, Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise. The Great American Betrayal. That blue ribbon label has been sitting in American kitchens since 1905. Richard Hellmann was a German immigrant. He opened a deli in Manhattan. He sold his wife's mayonnaise from a wooden boat on the counter. Customers loved it so much he started jarring it. By the 1970s, it was the best-selling mayo in America, found in more refrigerators than any other brand on earth. That story is real. That history is genuine. What happened next is the part they leave off the nostalgic label copy. In the year 2000, Unilever bought the brand for $2.3 billion, the same British-Dutch corporation that owns Axe body spray and Dove soap. Corporations that size do not pay billions for a recipe. They pay it for a customer base they can quietly milk. The recipe did not change overnight. That is never how this
Disclaimer, educational purposes only. Let's continue.
works. It changed in small, quiet increments over years. A cheaper oil blend, 1/4. A synthetic stabilizer 6 months later. Each substitution justified internally as quality improvement. Customers funding the acquisition had no idea.
That looks
Open
like
a jar
Cool
today
Whip.
and look at the back panel. Soybean oil, one of the most heavily processed industrial oils in America, linked to inflammation. Calcium disodium EDTA, a synthetic chemical that prevents the cheap oil from going rancid before it reaches the shelf. Natural flavors.
Be right or be like.
What's your shameless pleasure?
What is the most ridiculous thing that you've done?
Could I have another San Pellegrino?
An FDA catch-all for over 3,000 lab-created compounds engineered to mask the flat taste of cheap ingredients. The label still says Real Mayonnaise. Translation: it technically qualifies under FDA rules. Real and authentic are 2 very different standards. Spoon a dollop onto a plate and watch what happens.
Pay attention, guys. Real and authentic are very 2 different values. Let's continue.
Modern Hellmann's spreads completely flat within 20 seconds. Real mayonnaise holds its shape for over a minute. The emulsion is dying. Since 2022, complaint forms fill with the same words. Rancid aftertaste. Thinner consistency. Doesn't taste like the Hellmann's I grew up with. They are not imagining it. For seniors who have trusted that blue rib,
It really does. And Hellman's, I grew up on that too. It doesn't taste the same as it did. Not, and it's not have been that long ago for me, but for some, I hear them say the same thing too as well. Let's continue.
been since the Eisenhower administration, that loyalty was sold to a London boardroom. For families using it 3 times a week, you are feeding your kids EDTA with every sandwich. The blue ribbon stayed. The recipe did not. If America's #1 brand can be hollowed out, the brand everyone calls real might be even worse. Number 2, Kraft. Real Mayo. The word real is doing heavy lifting. Pick up that yellow jar. Look at the front panel. The word real stamped across it in big bold letters. Looks like a quality promise. Looks like the brand standing behind their product. It is not a quality promise. It is
I never had that one. I'm not if I make sandwiches like a sub, club, hamburger, or something like that, turkey burger, I usually just use mustard, but I do like it in potato salad. So let's continue.
It is a legal classification. The FDA has a definition of mayonnaise. Kraft meets the bare minimum. They print real on the front, knowing 95% of
Wow.
shoppers will read it as authenticity instead of bureaucracy. That word is doing all the work. The product is doing none of it. Turn the jar around and read the ingredient panel in order.
Always read the
Soybean
ingredients,
oil
guys.
first, water second, eggs third. In federal labeling law, this means eggs are present in lower weight than oil or water. Kraft uses the absolute legal minimum egg content required to qualify as mayonnaise. Not one egg more than the law demands. What fills the gap between rich, creamy mayonnaise and the thin product that minimum eggs would create? Modified food starch, a laboratory engineered thickener. It mimics the texture real eggs would create without the cost, the nutrition, or the actual flavor of eggs. Here is what this is going to do to your summer cookout. Modified food starch was engineered for controlled lab conditions. It was not built for 85-degree backyards in July.
Oh, that looks disgusting. Let's continue, guys.
When your potato salad sits outside for 2 hours while family arrives, the starch breaks down at the molecular level. The fake thickness disappears. The salad goes watery, curdled, wrong. Home cooks see this and blame themselves. Their technique, their
Wow.
recipe,
I've seen
the
this
potatoes
before
they bought.
on other people's
They try again
dishes.
next year. Same disaster. They decide they are not good at making potato salad and stop trying. The problem was never your cooking. It was the mayo failing under conditions real eggs would have handled fine. Spooncraft. Real mayo onto a plate. Watch it collapse in under 30 seconds. The emulsion is fake. The proof is in the puddle. Mothers and grandmothers whose family recipe potato salad started going wrong about 10 years ago. It was never you. For diabetics counting carbs, modified food
So I hope this makes you guys feel better. See, sometimes it's not you, it's the products and brands that we're using, respectfully. Let's continue.
starch is a hidden carb load. If you have already learned something that is going to change how you read a label, hit subscribe and the bell. We
Yes,
expose
please
what
do
is
subscribe,
really in your
guys.
refrigerator every single week. The next 3 brands are why this video exists. One of them broke a 100-year-old promise to the American South. Number 3, Duke's Mayonnaise, the nostalgia sellout. This one is
Uh-oh, guys. Oh, my goodness. This is the one that I use. Let's see what it has to say. That's when I eat it. Remember, I'm not a big mayo eater, but I do use this for my potato salads. Let's continue.
going to hurt, especially if you are from the South, because Duke's did not just build a brand. They built a belief system about what real food should be. Eugenia Duke started making her mayonnaise in 1917 in Greenville, South
Okay.
Carolina. She sold sandwiches to soldiers at Camp Sevier, shipping out to World War I. They loved it so much she turned it into a regional empire. No sugar, no compromise. That was not a
Wow.
tagline. That was a religion. For over 100 years, Southerners defended Dukes in grocery store conversations like family. It was the one mayo that had refused to sell out. The one bottle that still meant something. Then in 2017, the Sauer family sold the brand. The buyer was Falfurrious Capital Partners, a
Furious.
private equity firm. Private equity firms do not acquire beloved regional brands because they love mayonnaise or respect Southern tradition. Their analysts identify loyal customer bases with strong emotional attachment to the brand name, combined with margin improvement opportunities
I've never
throughout
even
the supply
seen this
chain.
one, guys.
In plain English, they find customers who buy on trust instead of reading the label, and they find places to spend less money making the product without losing the
Hold up, because I am a label reader. Total fat, 12 grams. What is it? Let's say cholesterol, 3%. Sodium, 70. Not bad because you got to do it per serving. Serving size is 1 teaspoon, 14 grams. So this is not bad. I'm really not getting what they're saying, but let's continue.
losing those customers. The changes began within 18 months. Duke's now uses soybean oil as its primary fat. The exact same industrial
Uh-oh.
oil Hellmann's and Kraft use.
I
It
see what
contains
the problem
potassium
is.
sorbate, a synthetic preservative. The egg yolk to product ratio has been quietly reduced to lower per unit cost, while still meeting mayonnaise classification.
Okay, not good. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, guys, let's continue. I'm about to go in heavy thought about
Requirements.
this.
The texture is noticeably thinner now, less rich, less substantial. The flavor profile has flattened out the way it always does when real ingredients are replaced with cheaper substitutes. That no sugar claim is still proudly stamped on the label. Still technically accurate. Translation: the one true thing on the front of the jar is now used as cover for every other substitution that has gutted what Duke's was supposed to mean. They kept the mason jar aesthetic. They kept Eugenia's story. They kept every element of brand identity that generates customer loyalty. They replaced the supply chain elements that actually honored that story. For Southerners who have defended Duke's in grocery store debates for 40 years, the company you defended does not exist anymore.
Wow. Well, guys, this is just breathtaking to me. Let me fast forward it so we can see which is the better mayo, okay? Let's see, because I'm kind of like a little disappointed here. I didn't know that. So let's see. Let's see. Bear with me, guys.
EDTA was cheaper. Here is the part that matters. Olive oil contains natural polyphenol antioxidants. Those polyphenols do the same preservation work that synthetic EDTA does in cheaper brands, the way nature designed it. No lab chemistry required. The organic certification covers the entire supply chain. No pesticide residues, no GMO crops, no industrial shortcuts. The flavor is distinct. The olive oil comes through subtly, adding depth and complexity that soybean oil cannot approach. Some people love it on first taste. Others need one full jar to recalibrate from industrial mayo to the real thing. Either way, they understand the difference afterward. Seniors with heart concerns get clinically documented cardiovascular benefits from olive oil. Pregnant women avoiding pesticide
This is why I eat a lot of olive oil
certification across every step of the supply chain.
As an ex-heart patient, so okay. So I guess it's the Duke's olive oil one, right, guys?
Authentic ingredients, centuries of tradition. The way mayo was made long before anyone thought to put corn syrup in a jar. 5 jars of betrayal. 5 jars of the real thing. 100 years ago, mayonnaise was just a recipe. Eggs, oil, vinegar, salt. Then ownership changed. Shelf life mattered more than taste. Profit margins mattered more than ingredients. The recipes were rewritten, one substitution at a time, until the only thing left of those original brands was the label on the front. Flip by reading avocado oil on a label that turned out to be mostly soybean. This is the real one. If clean mayo at fair prices is possible in America, what does 100 years of perfecting the formula look like in another country? Number 2. Kewpie mayonnaise, the century-old Japanese secret. Japan's most popular mayo since 1925.
Okay, guys, I just kind of wanted to see that. So that's the real mayo. I guess you have to get that from the international markets. But this is very important, guys. You don't want to be putting things in your system that shouldn't be there, okay? But at any rate, please do research it more for yourself, as I. Please do subscribe. All in Eggline Lifestyle. Thank you, and have a nice evening.